Well, good morning, everybody. Excuse me. I wasn't having runny nose until, again, recently. Let's pray for all those in our congregation who are impacted by whatever this nasty bug is that is going around that doesn't seem to want to let us go. Well, as I told the children, salt is a high commodity. And the history of salt, if you look it up, is pretty fascinating. Salt comes from different bodies of water, and sometimes people will, dry water and collect the brine from the salt. There are cores of salt in the Middle East and other parts of the world, and in prehistoric times, salt was such a valued commodity that wars were fought over it. There are protected routes. The ancient Romans and Greeks literally had these things called salt routes. They fought wars over salt. Salt was used as an offering to the gods. Salt was used to celebrate at special celebrations, as the Jews would dip some of their Passover food into salt. But that word for salt, the salubrious crystal, salubrious, that word salt is where salt came from, and also salary. Can you imagine being paid in salt? That's how valuable it was, that you could use that salt and barter for other things. There was also a Salus, who was the goddess of health. So having salt, as we all know now, your body needs salt, right? We think of sodium chloride when you're in the hospital. If you have any kind of drip going, it's usually a sodium chloride drip, right? It's a salt drip. Salt is so crucial to our health that we really don't think about it. What we are usually thinking about in these days and times is removing salt from things, because too much salt gives us all kinds of other problems. So let's remember that it's not the presence of salt that's the problem, it's the excess, as is the case with most things. It's not bread or carbs that are the problem, it's too many of those things, all in moderation. So in ancient times, if people didn't have enough salt in their food, not only would their food go bad, but their own bodies didn't have some of those minerals that they needed. The Greeks and Romans also used to trade slaves for salt. You would actually give up some of your slaves. And again, Greek and Roman slavery was nothing like the chattel slavery that we know of in the United States. It's really important to highlight that distinction, because Greek and Roman slaves were not treated as property in the same way that American slaves were. Greek and Roman slaves often were well educated by their owners. They had the opportunity to purchase their freedom, and usually only high-level, well-off families had slaves. So the slaves were very often well educated and considered to be really important members of the family, and they weren't just beasts of burden. Well, salt makes life better, or at least it did in ancient days. It helps to preserve. And so how might Jesus might have imagined us being salt? The hip-hop generation, they talk about Flava. The crazy rapper Flava Flav that has the big clocks around. Some of you may not be as into that culture to know who Flava Flav. But Flava Flav is, he looks ridiculous, first of all, because he has these huge glasses and he has this big pendant with a clock. He was very popular in the 80s, but just that notion of Flava being spelled F-L-A-V-A, not flavor. So now people will talk about it, put a little flavor in it. That might be in music, that might be in your dance. Add a little flavor to the hip-hop generation means that you bring something that's a little unique, a little spicy, a little creative, and that you jazz up anything that you are a part of. I hope I bring a little flavor to you. something special, something unique, something that only I can bring. And each one of you in this sanctuary today brings a little flavor to First Christian Church of Counterscroll. With your gifts, if you're not here, we're missing a little bit of the seasoning that you bring. We're missing some of the flavor that God has given you to share with all of us. Jesus, as I told the kids, doesn't say, well, someday you might be salt of the earth. Or, well, you could be. He doesn't even say you should be. He pronounces, you are salt of the earth, light of the world. We're so excited about the sun today. I was praying all week, God, please let there be light on Sunday. So that we can talk about what a wonderful thing it is for the sun to shine. The winter solstice is a celebration not of the shortest day of the year, but rather a celebration that more light is coming. When we celebrate on Christmas Eve with our candles, we're celebrating in darkness, but the moment we light those candles, darkness shatters. It's a physical impossibility to be in complete darkness as long as you have one shining beam of light. Have you noticed that the days are getting longer even now? We'll be switching to daylight savings time the second Sunday of March. We are all eager for there to be more light. Light works on our brains. When my son spent a year at Interlochen Arts Academy up in northern Michigan, there are an average of 90 inches of snow a year there. They shared with parents that we should be prepared to get our kids those SAD lights, seasonal affective disorder. Some people are affected by a long absence of light. And so I got Mitchell a SAD light. I didn't know if he would have this disorder, but they're so concerned in that part of Michigan that there are so few days of sunshine that it can actually begin to affect us negatively. Light isn't just necessary for us to see. Our bodies are designed to receive light for our own health. Anybody ever had vitamin D deficiency? Right? That's why we want to take our babies out and walk them outside to get fresh air and sunshine. We wear sunblock, but back in the day, nobody was wearing sunblock. We tanned, we were outside, we didn't think about it. Sunshine is good. Light is good. Light connotes some kind of positive energy that somehow works not only on our bodies, but also on our minds and our spirits. We need light. We need you. We need your light. Can't you tell when somebody comes into a room and there's a cloud over them? When somebody's when they're totally down, when something is wrong, we know when light is dimmed in other people's spirits. Again, Jesus doesn't say you should be the light of the world. Or you might be, or maybe one day you will be. He says you are. Simply by virtue of the power of God that has been given to us through the Holy Spirit and our belief in Jesus Christ. We are all the things that God wants us to be in the world. We have a choice, however, to live and to walk into those things. Tomorrow night at PADS, we will be salt and light. We will be what we need to be in that space, providing food and drink and hospitality to serve the people, the families at the PADS shelter, not as though we are any better than they are. But we serve them because we know that we could very well be where they are. We serve them knowing that Jesus wants us to serve them. And He wants us to do it in lifting them up, to smile and laugh. And I always call everybody, ma'am, sir, many of us do, when they're asking what we have options, what would you like? This or that. There are certain rules that we have to abide by, absolutely. But does it hurt us To treat them as though you're the waiter in a 5-star restaurant, asking them, what can I do for you? Can I get you more water? What would you like? It doesn't hurt us at all to be salt and light. In those situations, it's easy to be magnanimous. But when with one another, I love it when we see each other taking care of each other. Somebody brought some books for the fair, couldn't carry them all in. 3 or 4 people got up to try to help that person bring the books in this morning. Simple, salt and light. Making sure that the work that you do for the church is done with excellence and with love, salt and light. Have you ever been a visitor in this church? Are you amazed by how many people come to you and welcome you? We work really hard to remember your names. I do, sometimes I'm not as successful. We love our kids. This is salt and light. Teaching them that they too can be reflections of the love of Jesus Christ. It starts now, which is why we're now holding them accountable for their behavior in Sunday school in a way that they decided the rules. We had a little input. Thanks to Angela and Tammy for facilitating their conversation on this last week. But salt and light is something we're called to be and something that we're held accountable to do. I hope that as you enjoy the sunshine today, that as you enjoy a good meal later, maybe you'll think about what it would taste like if the seasoning wasn't there. How do we feel when the light's not there? There are people who do not have real joy. There are people who don't have flavor because nobody's ever really been kind to them just to be kind. Eva Moses Core, the mother of a good friend of ours from Terre Haute, that I talk about often, is a Holocaust survivor. She was about 11 years old when they were liberated from Auschwitz, she and her twin sister Miriam. And she talks about the fact that when the Russian army came to liberate them, they hugged them. They hugged the kids. She said, we hadn't had food, so we were hungry, and they gave them chocolate. And they were so excited to have chocolate. She says, but we were starving for human warmth and compassion. You'd be amazed at how many people you know or even work with who simply don't have healthy exchanges with other human beings. To say, have a good day to the person who hands you your order in the drive-thru. Or to be nice to the clerk who checks you out in the checkout line. Or if someone is rude to you and cuts in front of you in line, which happens regularly to me at the campus bookstore, I generally say, have a nice day. Which puts a lot of guilt on them usually. But I'm still trying to be salt and light. I can't go around being nasty when I'm the dean of students at the divinity school or because I'm a pastor. Salt and light together. Jesus said, you are. What he's really saying is you must be. If you are my disciples, you must make this choice to let the world have your flavor, to let the world have your warmth, to let the world have that little bit of seasoning that is you that no one else brings, to be light in the midst of darkness, to hold someone's hand when they're fearful or cold, to just be warmth, light, and flavor. You can do that here. Hopefully you're doing it beyond these walls. But remember, Jesus said, you are salt and light. There is no option. We are called to be disciples, to be salt and light. Amen.